Hello, my retired party people. Don't mind, oh my goodness gracious, my life's falling apart. Do not mind my crazy hair today or my comfy clothes because I'm in that it's not Christmas, it's not New Year's limbo phase. That's where I'm at. I'm lingering somewhere in between where I don't know what day it is. I don't know the date, but I'm still hitting my goals hot and I'm going out running. So I want to fill you in on some tea. Because if you are new here and you have been following my online business journey, but you don't know all the real benefits to starting a business in 2024 before the new year, let me break it down to you, okay? So I got some notes here so that I don't get off topic because I am like, woo, butterfly, gone. Right. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm usually on at 9:30 and it's 9:45, so hopefully I didn't miss all of you. But anyway, so what if I told you that starting your dream business right now can save you money on your taxes in 2024? That's right. Starting your dream business right now before 2024 can save you money in your taxes. Hi, Gary. Hi, Jim. Good morning. I'm talking about investing in yourself and getting a tax break. Let me explain. Okay, so first of all, have you ever thought about starting a business in the first place, right? Maybe you didn't realize there was a tax benefit too. Well, let me explain it to you. So when you are going up to starting a business in the first place, right? Maybe you didn't realize there was a tax benefit too. Well, let me explain it to you. So when you are going up to a new year, everything you do in 2024 becomes a tax write-off when it's in correlation to business. So you've had this idea, right? You've had this idea. Maybe you follow people like myself who have online businesses and you're kind of wondering what the heck's that about? When you invest in an online course to start a business, it is not just an investment in your future, it's also a tax deductible expense. That is right. If you're setting up your business properly, which I will show you if you're working with someone like myself or getting coached, it's like getting a head start on your goals and keeping more money in your pocket, right? So by doing that business you were dreaming of or thinking of, or just maybe starting now means that you can set yourself up for a financial freedom in 2025 by using 2024's benefits and already having a tax write-off when tax season comes for next year, because I'm sure it's going to pour into more things, right? So first of all, you need to understand how tax write-offs work, right? Because not a lot of people understand what a tax write-off is. It always makes me think of that part in Schitt's Creek where he's like, it's a write-off. And he's like, what's a write-off? And he's like, it's a tax write-off. And he's like, who's getting the tax write-off? And then the guy's like, and he's like, well, who's paying for this? It's so funny. I love that one. It cracks me up. I use it anytime I can when I'm making reels. So when you invest in tools, okay, to start or grow a business, like an online course, for example, it's considered a business expense, right? And a business expense can be written off on your taxes. Now, paper can be a business expense. I mean, there's so many. If you set up your thing properly, which when working with the right coach or business mentor, they will teach you. The cost of the course is a business expense, right? So that's a write-off. The software you use to run your business expense is a write-off. The equipment like a laptop, phone, or even an internet bill that you use for work becomes a write-off. Now, why is it the perfect time, right? Because starting now means you're going to maximize your benefit for the next tax season. So getting ahead of everyone waiting for January and taking action. You already have all that going together. So if you are to, for example, I business coach people, right? And I get to use what I spent on my course as a tax write-off. I use it as a tool to help me teach my clients how to start their online businesses, right? So this isn't just about saving money. It's about setting yourself up. So when I'm using my courses to help you guys set up your dream life, it's only best if I teach you how to do it right so that you can then set up your dream life by writing these things off, right? So first off, you want to set your business up correctly. You could do it through a personal account, especially if you're starting off right away, but really it's best to do an LLC. An LLC takes 5 minutes. You go on the state site. It is a $125 fee. I know it's another thing, but that's a tax write-off as well. And now you have a little legal limited liability LLC, right? That makes it a business, official business. Yes, you could run this personally and still have the same benefits, but that's a different conversation. I want to teach you how to do it right. When you use the LLC to run everything through, everything you use and pay for in that business becomes a write-off, okay? If you're buying paper, if you're going to McDonald's, having a business conversation, that is a write-off. Please don't go to McDonald's. Ugh. But anyway, your coffee meeting during consultation discussing future business arrangements is a write-off. This is how you properly get things set up. This is how you properly write things off, right? So first, you want to learn how to create automations as well. Because if you have StanStore, say you upgrade it to the $99 one. If you have System.io, which helps you run a website, right? Say it's $29 a month. Say you upgrade to the $100 a month. That is a write-off. All of the things that you do to use your business and have it run smoothly becomes a write-off. Now me, I use automations to run my business so that while I'm talking to you right now, I can have clients going through my automations, buying products, setting up their coaching programs, all the things that they might be doing while I'm talking to you. And because of that $20 fee or whatever I use, that is a tax write-off, okay? This is all stuff you could do as well. Using automations to run your business, all of the above, all becomes a tax write-off. Now, skills that not only grow your business, but grow your confidence, right? So like by learning these things and understanding these things, when you invest in a course, you're not just learning how to make money online, you're also setting yourself up for a tax break that keeps more money in your pocket. So now that you understand these things, you can honestly use them to your advantage, right? So when I first started, the idea of spending money to like make money felt really scary. But like when you realize that it's an investment in you and it now becomes tax deductible and it helps you set up for future tax deductions, it can make making your dream life way more realistic, right? So I've had a business since I've been 22. I started a salon. I knew none of these things. I've learned a lot of lessons. I always say people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college. Well, I paid $100,000 in the hard knocks life of mistakes. So when I come on to teach my clients and my future entrepreneurs, I'm coming with a lot of experience. I've been an entrepreneur since 22 years old. I'm turning 37, I think, this year. I lose count after 35. But I'm coming to with a lot of experience, teaching you all the mistakes I've made and all the things I didn't write off, and now I understand it. So when I stepped into the online space, after getting sick and my body kind of gave me no choice, I really had a good understanding of what tax write-offs were and LLCs and all these business expenses because I've lived through it already. So for someone like yourself, if that's new to you and you don't understand it, that's why having a business mentor or taking a course that you can write off would be in your best interest so you could understand, right? So that you can physically understand what all these things mean. So I'm just making sure I'm following all my notes because I want to stay on track. Okay, so let's talk about more things to understand these tax write-offs a little bit deeper, like why they matter, how you could use them to help you, right? So when you're launching an online business, so for me, it started with an online business. I've had a business since 22, but I really started learning business and entrepreneurial stuff and tax write-offs through my online courses when I was setting up my automations and when I was working with the business mentor who's already done it before, right? So anything I use for this business becomes a tax write-off, okay? If I said that this shirt was my online business shirt and that I needed it for my business, I would be able to write off this shirt if my business is set up properly, okay? When you have a home office, for example, this corner you're seeing of my home is my home office. So now that I work from home, I can deduct a portion of my rent or mortgage, utilities and internet costs as a home office expense, right? Because it is used for my business. Now, key rule, it has to be exclusively used for your business. So the internet keeps my business rolling. My internet is a tax write-off, okay? A portion of my electric bill is a tax write-off. A portion of my gas bill is a tax write-off because this is what keeps the lights on to run my business. This mouse I bought in 2024 is a tax write-off because I use it to run my business, right? I hope this is clicking for some of you. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I've been an entrepreneur since 22 years old. This is my passion. I love businesses. I love to help people. Let me answer any questions. No question is a dumb question. I remember when I would think that like I would be embarrassed to ask questions. No question is a dumb question, period. Honestly, especially when you're learning and you're trying to think about starting a new business and you don't know where to go with it, please ask questions. Okay, let me keep going. That printer and the ink I pay for it is an online business expense for me because I use it to make my notes. I print out my notes, right? That's my business. that ain't cartridge is a business expense, okay? My cameras or anything I use to make content is a business expense. You see where I'm going with this? I'm going to keep going. Every dollar you spend to grow your business, like ads on social media tools, even Canva subscription can be a tax write-off and can be marketed or it can be expensed as a marketing expense, right? Educational expenses, right? A course or a workshop can be a tax write-off. If you come into my programs and you're looking to get one-on-one business mentoring and you use a program to get my coaching, not only does my coaching become a tax write-off, but the course you are using, the program you use to help you learn your online business becomes a tax write-off. It becomes a business tax deductible. Okay, certifications, CEU hours becomes a tax write-off. The blueprint I use qualifies as an educational expense to help clients grow their businesses online. It is a tax write-off. Okay, travel expenses. If you travel for business, those can be tax write-offs. For example, your gas, your air mileage can be a tax write-off. Your hotel stay, meals while you're traveling, partial tax deduction. We already talked about internet and phone bills because like I said, if you use your phone or internet in business, a portion of these bills can be deducted as a tax expense. If you use 50% of your internet in your business, then 50% of your internet can be written off as a tax expense. Hiring family members. If your kids or spouse help you grow your business, you can pay them a salary and deduct it as a business expense. That is right. That is a business expense. You can hire your friends and family, even your kids or spouse, pay them a salary, and it becomes a tax deductible business expense. Now, keep track of receipts, right? Encouraging clients to keep track of your receipts is like the biggest thing you could do when you're mentoring people because sometimes the government likes to audit, sometimes they don't. But when you keep track of everything, if something like that happens, you've got it all figured out, and it makes things really easier, and it becomes way more affordable when you're using an accountant. Because if you use things like QuickBooks or Expensify or like any kind of tracking expense, your accountant will use that to help you do your write-offs, and it becomes a lot more affordable when paying an accountant. I'm telling you, I learned from examples, okay? When your accountant has to be your bookkeeper, there goes up your bill $1,000, right? So if you drive for business, if you go to a meeting, pick up supplies, or maybe you have a consultation at a coffee shop, you could literally becomes a tax write-off with your mileage. You could tax write off your mileage. You could use an app like Mile IQ to track your miles, right? And if that app costs you money, that is a tax deductible. This is where the real magic happens in business, where people just don't understand, especially if you were never taught. All things involving business become a tax write-off, but I don't think people realize what involves business. Retirement contributions. Business owners can contribute to retirement accounts like a SEP, IRA, solo 401k, and get a tax deduction while saving for your future, okay? Major tax deduction for retirements. And like I told you before, there's a tax deduction when getting an LLC. And even if you have a personal account, you could still do all this. But when you register your business as an LLC, it provides even more tax benefits than just being a personal sole proprietor. You want to make sure you set up like consultations with accountants. I'm not an accountant, but I will tell you, I've learned from examples and I've been through the ringer when it comes to business. So I know firsthand what you can deduct and what you can't deduct as far as my knowledge goes. You always want to go through an accountant and double check everything, all the tips I'm giving you, and see if they qualify for you. But if you're an online business owner or a salon owner or real estate, I'm your girl. I know how those work because I am those. I've done those. So you want to deduct streaming or any kind of software you use for work, right? So if a client uses Netflix, if a client uses anything, Zoom Professionals, Loom, all of it is a tax write-off. You write it off. You can deduct your meals, like I was saying before. Meals with a client, coffee with a client. You want to keep track of your receipts just to make it more organized, but these are all huge tax write-offs. So when you're coming into this time of the year, taxes don't have to be overwhelming. When you have the right strategies and you have the right tools, you could be set up for success. That is why I coach and business mentor using programs and softwares that can help you learn all these things. And not only does it help you learn all these things, it helps you set yourself up to be knowledgeable, the right questions to ask an accountant. When you're buying a course and you're already going to invest in yourself because you've been wanting to do it business-wise, now you could use it as a tool. So say you owe money to the government. Say you're a 1099 employee. You owe about $1,000. If you buy a program that's $900 to teach you more about business or starting a new business, There's your $1,000 you will no longer owe the government, and now you have something to show for it. That is the biggest thing. Like, for example, my husband this year, this is the first year he's going to owe the government a good amount of money, and he's freaking out. And I'm like, go hire a business coach, go get this, go get that, get a course to teach you more about your business. And all of it could be something he now owns that nobody could take from him, but now he can learn so much and keep all the stuff that's benefiting him without giving the government. So when you pay taxes, you're giving the government money, but you don't get anything in return. But when you get a tax write-off, at least you got something either tangible or knowledge in return to benefit, right? So that is my biggest advice when anyone comes down to, I'm going to owe this or that, I'm freaking out about this, I'm freaking out about that. It's like, don't freak out. Just get smart. Get smart about it. Find someone who's more knowledgeable than you. If you're looking for a business coach, like, make sure you hire someone who knows more than you do. Like, you don't want to hire a coach that's at the same level as you. You want to find a business mentor or coach that knows more than you. You want to be the dumbest person in that room, because all that you have to do from there is grow. When you're growing, you're learning. So when I bought my course, I didn't even think about the tax write-offs at the time. I just bought it because I wanted to make sure that I was learning and growing, and I wanted to set myself up a future business that was online. Because, I got really sick for a while. I've been healing forever. I found mold in my house. It was like a whole thing. Like, seriously, a whole thing. And it was thousands of dollars. And by trying to heal my body, I had went through a breast augmentation. Then I got breast implants explanted. Another $10,500 because I got really sick. I had a lot of healing to do in the meantime. I had to go cryotherapy. I mean, so many things. It was so expensive. And by using this blueprint to create an online business, I've been able to combat some of those costs. And it was a blessing in disguise. I just wanted to make money from home because I didn't have the energy or the health at that time to go to work 40 hours a week anymore. And I wanted to be with my kids. So every day when I'm working at my goal right here, I know that I'm freeing up time to be with my children. I work a 2-hour workday, this being a part of it. I'm going to be done with my 2-hour workday and have my whole day to myself and my children. I set up my whole day for success in 2 hours, taught to me by this course that I'm able to write off, taught to me by the blueprint. The blueprint walked me through it step by step, helping me set up all the automations that I wanted to have the freedom I wanted, helping me set up business accounts like social media wise and what to use and how to attract clients. And it just taught me so much that I knew this was going to be like the platform starting the coaching business I already wanted to do. So now as I'm business mentoring, business coaching people, I have programs that do a lot of the work for me. So that when you come to me, you've already been prepped and educated in all these things. And I'm just going to help push you even further, give you more ideas that are out of the course and programs, and help be like an accountability partner. So starting January 1, I'm working with 12 moms. Honestly, you could be a man too, but I always relate to moms, to set them up for their first $5,000 online. And every single one of them who buy the course before the first of the year will have a tax write-off. It'll be all tax deductible for them. And they're going to learn all these skills that they need to learn before the new year, and they get to write it off. So like every single educational course that I sell from now to the first of the year, my clients who buy them, who want to educate themselves or start a new business, all have tax deductibles in their hands. Because like I told you, if you are dreaming of that online business, but you've been waiting, now's the time. Because every educational form of business that you want to be in, anything you buy for it becomes a tax deductible. So your educational expense, like a course, a program, your softwares to set up the course or programs that you may be using are all tax deductible. Your Canva subscription could be tax deductible. Your System.io can be tax deductible. Your Stand Store, if you've upgraded it, can be tax deductible. The course you bought originally to teach you how to start the business can be tax deductible, right? So when you want to start an LLC, if that's something you want to do to get additional tax benefits, it's $125 on the state website. It's tax deductible. I mean, it's amazing how much people don't realize, when you invest in a tool to start or grow a business online, like a course, it's considered a business expense. And when it's considered a business expense, it can be written off in your taxes, right? So let's talk about what that could be. Like what actually is included in that. Skills. Not only grow your business, but they grow your confidence, and then they also help you get a tax write-off because you learn the skills in the course that you're paying for, and it's now your tax write-off. When you invest in that course and your money online, you will learn to set up other tax breaks, right? For example, like I said, System.io, StanStore, Canva, you could write off partially your electric bill. You could write off some of your phone bill. You could write off some of your internet bill. All of these things become tax deductible because you're using them to create a business. Say you go out and you buy a desk for the corner of your dining room like myself. That is your business area. Now it's a tax write-off because it's a business expense. I'm not sure what's happening over there. Like literally, this is why I do what I do. I want to be involved in my children's life. I want to be around. I don't want to send them to daycare. I don't want to be so busy making CEO money that I can't be here for my children. So when I invested in my course, it wasn't even about the tax benefits. It was about the freedom it created. It helps me create a 2-hour workday, and it helps me create freedom. It creates daily pay, passive income, automations that do all the work for me while I'm being a mom. So it's just a bonus that I realized, because I've had businesses since 22 years old, that wait a minute, everything I invested into this business has now become a tax write-off. And it's at the perfect time of the year. I'm like, I wonder if anyone else knows this. So anybody who's been investing in themselves, anybody that's been tax write-off. And it's at the perfect time of the year. I'm like, I wonder if anyone else knows this. So anybody who's been investing in themselves, anybody that's been, business, anybody who's wanting to do the online business or invest in themselves, who's been waiting, now's the time, because now you can write it off in your taxes, and anything related to it, like paper for your printer, ink for your printer, this mouse for your laptop, all becomes a tax write-off. Your coffee meeting talking about your business and courses becomes a tax write-off. How about lunch with your friend, but you're talking about digital marketing, which happens to be the category of your business, is a tax write-off. Like I always say before, anytime you have any questions, please leave your questions and comments below. I'll answer anything I can. I've had a business that's 22 years old. I am not an accountant, but I can give you advice of it works for me and how to get you to a place where it can work for you, and tell you the things that I've done and used to grow my business and the benefits I get tax-wise to share with you that knowledge. So I'm not an accountant, so you always want to consult your accountant, but I'll tell you, I know a little bit about a lot, or a lot about a little. So in general, when you are going into a business, an online business, any form of business that maybe you've been thinking about, but you haven't done it yet, and you're just not sure where to start, a course is a really, really good place to start, because it's going to teach you all the knowledge. And then on top of it, you get to write your course off. Okay, so say you decide to resell your course and you set up an automation that makes it a $29 fee with StanStore because you upgraded. That $29 is tax deductible, literally. Your setup fees for a website, if you decided to do one, tax deductible. Your email campaigner, say you grow really big and you have thousands of emails, and your free account isn't going to work anymore. That's a deductible. Okay. How about just a postcard that you wanted to mail out for Christmas for your business? That's a tax deduction. Opening an LLC for this business is a tax deduction. So all of these things become like a huge mind-blowing thing when you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize my computer, my phone, my printer, my office space, my camera that I use to make content becomes a tax deduction. If you're an influencer and you want to get better at influencing, and you buy a course because you're going to owe a ton of taxes, that's a tax deduction. And then you get a camera to make better content, that's a tax deduction. Every dollar you spend to grow your business, like ads on social media tools, your Canva subscription, your WordPress Pro, all becomes a marketing expense, leaving it as a tax deduction. Okay, that's good. This sweater, this is my work sweater. I only wear it when I work. It's a tax deduction. I hope you're catching what I'm throwing here, but courses, workshops, certification, all related to business become a tax deduction. They help you grow your current business, and your government wants you to have a current business because he wants you to sustain yourself and to help other people and to hire employees and to do all the things. And all of those things become tax deductions when you do them correctly. So let's take it a step further. Say you like to travel and you have a business traveling coming up where you're going to a seminar, maybe you're taking a class while you're there, maybe you're going to talk to a bunch of people there and consultations about your business. That becomes a tax write-off. Maybe not all of it, but a partial part of it. Your gas, your airfare, your, anything you do, your seminar that you're going to. Say you're going to a Tony Robbins seminar. That becomes a tax deduction when it's going into helping your business. Sorry, there was a loud noise. So I already talked to you about your home office. I've already talked to you about, sorry, I'm like looking at my notes because I didn't want to get off track because I am like butterfly, woo. But you always want to keep track of your receipts. Let me make that clear. So you always want to keep track of your receipts. Yay, thank you. You want to keep track of your receipts because you want to track everything in case something in the government asks for. If you get audited, any of the above, you always want to make sure you're organized. You could do this through a QuickBooks app. You could do it by Expensify. You could do it just by old-fashioned keeping them. But when you do it like that, it'll save you $1,000 on your taxes, because if your accountant has to be your bookkeeper, they will charge you more, and that will cost you. So whenever you're doing stuff like this, you want to make sure you're keeping track of it. You could use a Word, Excel spreadsheet. Doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you're keeping track of it all, so that when it comes down to it, your accountant isn't doing any extra work, because he will charge you, he or she. So when taxes don't always have to be overwhelming. These things don't have to be overwhelming. If you have the right people in your corner, you have the right coach or business mentor, this stuff will come easy for you, okay? So for me, I started the course. I had a business mentor. She helped answer all my questions. She still does if I do. And like, for example, like me, I'm helping 12 people do the same thing as of the first of the year. Every single one of those people are coming into my coaching program through buying one of the courses or programs I offer. When they do that, that is a tax write-off for them. Then I'm going to instruct them on how to properly start their business, and anything that costs them anything out of pocket is going to be a tax write-off for them as well. And then I'm going to help personally walk them through to their first $5,000 online, from 0 to 5K in hopefully 30 days, depending on you and your works and your commitment. And anything that costs you anything in that 30 days will get written off. And that's why I said you want to have the right people in your corner, because usually if you buy a program, you don't always get a coach with that. A coach is an extra amount. So for me, usually if you want me as a business coach, like full one-on-one business coach, I'm $1,000 additionally to one of my courses. But when you're doing my challenges, like I'm offering them on the first of the year because I do it differently, I'm only doing it for 12 people, but they're going to get their online course, which is tangible. They can have it for life. And then they're getting my coaching as in that 30 days for free. So it's pretty exciting, because then they won't have to guess. All the guesswork is out of it for them, because I'm going to personally walk them through what I think is the best thing for them to do going forward when making their first 5K online. Because when you are online, you can set up tax deductions when you use like Stand Store or stuff like that, but it gets kind of complicated. So most people who work online, like influencers or business coaches and stuff,
let me have time.
Okay, look, please try to figure it out for just a second. Anytime you coaches and stuff,
let me have time.
Okay, look, please try to figure it out for just a second. Anytime you do, I lost my train of thought. Mom life, guys. Oh, anytime you work with someone, we want to make your life easier. You don't want to have guessing games. You don't want to do guesswork. So if you're not working with a mentor, but you bought a course, that's still awesome. I'm proud of you. You could write it off. Mom, you could always hire a business coach, or you could start researching online.
Just no in my face.
I'm sorry. It looks like my time here is being expired. They gave me a solid 28 minutes. So if anyone has any questions, please comment them below. I would love to answer any of them. I'm trying to go through and see if I missed any. So make sure thank you for all the likes, Addison. Make sure if you have any questions, seriously, make sure you go in and ask me them. There's no dumb question, especially when it comes to business. Even if you are a client, or if you're not, or someone who's just thinking about it, I've been there. I've been the person who watched on the sidelines, wishing I would have done it sooner. I could have been a millionaire if I would have did this 2 years ago. I'm not kidding you. But I've been there, and you're not ready yet, and that's okay. So you're never going to be ready if you don't ask the questions that you're curious about, because you're like, well, I don't even know what I don't know, right? So maybe you have a couple questions that would make your life a lot easier when it comes to writing things off in your taxes, when it comes to doing online business. So feel free to ask, because I get it. Like, I've been there before, and if you don't ask the questions, you won't get the answers. And if you don't get the answers, you might be someone who just watches from the sidelines forever. So today's was all about tax write-offs and how you could get a course right now to better your life and use it as a business expense for 2024. as a tax write-off, and all the things that come with it that correlate to your business become a tax write-off. You could hire your child, your husband, anybody that helps you grow your business. That is a tax write-off. They become a tax write-off paying them. So think about it. Right now, my son's not in it, but say I do my son in a couple of my courses. I'm going to pay him to be in my content, and now his salary becomes a tax write-off for me. It's a whole world you don't know anything about until you know, right? So I hope I helped somebody. I hope this gave you some knowledge. If you missed it and you're jumping at the end, it will be on my YouTube channel sometime today, and we will go from there. So hopefully you guys have a great New Year's. If you're stuck in the trap between New Year's and Christmas like me, I don't even know what day it is. Don't feel bad. We're all lucky I'm even wearing pants. Have a good day, guys.
Mommy.